Hello everyone, it's Mr.Skizamanops and I'm back with another episode of the Forced Element Podcast. You're probably wondering, where have you been? It's been a long time. I thought you were going to do these every month. Well, unfortunately, a lot of different things came up. I got a new job. That's basically what happened. And I'm going to explain about that, but we're also going to explain, well, I'm not going to explain, but we're going to talk about GTA 6 delay, and the stuff that happened, how I even got the job in the first place and all that. And real quick before we get started, here's a message from our sponsor.
This episode has been brought to you by the homie from down the street.
It just, in general, I took a trip earlier this year. We'll talk about that as well, and a whole bunch of other things. Alright, so let's go ahead and start at the beginning. All the way back in July on my birthday, I got an email and opened up the email, and it was from Target Distribution Center because I was looking for a job that pays every week, and it pays, and the hours are amazing, like work 10 hours for 4 days and then get 3 days off. That's what I was looking for, and that's exactly what I got. And it's amazing, and I love it so much because I get paid every 7 days. And I make a decent amount of money, not a crazy amount, but it's enough to where I can get things done and bills taken care of. And it's every single 7 days, so it's like, hell yeah, you know? Anyway, so, yes, I got the email from the Target DC, and they said, hey, we want you to come in and do an orientation. I go, all right, hell yeah. Then I got to thinking about it. Orientation, usually they don't even give you that until after they hire you. I was like, I didn't even go in and do a drug test or anything like that. Well, apparently, Target DC doesn't even do drug tests. So I was like, okay, whatever. No big deal. So anyway, once I went in there, they took my mug shot, and then they immediately started to get to working on my badge. And I used that to clock in and out. And I didn't even know what the fuck was going on when I first walked in there. They were just like, yeah, sit down here, we're gonna take a picture. I was like, all right, what? For what? Anyway, then I found out later on how to go upstairs. And by the way, the orientation lasted like 5 hours. It was a crazy amount of time I had to spend there for like basically doing nothing. Anyway, I had to go up there, watch some videos and do some stuff on the computer and make sure all my payment stuff was taken care of and all that stuff. Then at the end of the orientation, we did a tour of the building. So we walked around the entire thing. I was kind of blown away at first when I first walked in there. It's kind of crazy. It's like when you very first walk into a place and you look at it, and it's like, whoa, this is kind of weird. This is all cool. It's got all these conveyor belts and all this kind of shit around. Then like, now that when I walk in there, it's like I don't even see it the same exact way when I very first walked in there. It's kind of weird. I don't know why it's like that. It's like there's the things that I noticed when I very first walked in there that I don't even notice anymore. Like it's like not even there anymore. It's like they changed it or some shit. I don't even know how that even happened, but regardless, I don't even care. Doesn't even matter. As long as they pay and I get my hours in and I'm not late and all that shit, we good. So yeah, I work now at the Target DC and it is amazing. I love it. I've got a lot of stuff done. I got new struts put on my truck. I still have to get the alignment done. I have some stuff for my truck I need to buy, but I have a project that I started. And also, something really stupid happened that cost me a bunch of money, like right when I very first got the job. And my original intention was to like save money. I wanted to save chunks of my paychecks and save up and get a little fucking a money pot saved up just in case an emergency happens. You never know what might happen. I have 30 cats. I have about 30 or maybe 34 cats. Something like that. I have a lot of cats around here, but what had happened was we had some kittens and they ended up getting these really bad diseases on their eyes, where their eyes get matted and they get real like nasty pus built up inside their eye sockets and stuff. Well, I didn't know what to do, so basically what had happened is one day the little kittens went across the road. They wandered themselves across the street. My cousin lives directly across the street, mind you, and my cousin found them. And then we're like, well, these cats are in like they look like they're in pain. They probably were in pain, but there was nothing I could do about it. I didn't have the medicine. I didn't know what to do. I didn't have the money to take them to the vet and have them get fixed because I just started working and I didn't get paid yet. So anyway, my cousin took them to one of the emergency health animal clinics that they have here, and they just so happen to have a animal clinic. Like there's a group of people in my city called the Emergency Cat Fix Community, and what they do is they go around different neighborhoods and they see where there's an infestation of cats. Well, they'll come in, they'll capture the cats, they'll take them to their special place where they have them spaded and neutered. They'll spade them and neuter them and give them their proper shots that they need, and then send them back to the fucking place where they dropped them off at, because they don't have like housing or anything that can keep them in. So that's what happened. The cat community, Cat Fix in my area, in my neighborhood, they came and found my address and they was like, hey, you know, we can help you with getting your cat spayed and neutered so that way you're not having any more kittens for all these problems to happen for you. I was like, hell yeah, let's get this done. Because one of the original reasons why I even got the job in the first place is so I can work towards getting all these cats fixed and the shots taken care of, so that way I don't have to worry about no more kittens coming out of this litter, because things were getting insane. We was having like 3 or 4 female cats being pregnant. And if you know anything about cats, when they have litters, they have like at least 8 or 9 kittens usually. And sometimes it's 4, sometimes it's 2, sometimes it's 8. You never really know how many they can really get until they come out. So we was having a problem around here. So thank God that the Cat Fix community in my neighborhood came through, and this has been a process that has been happening the last 4 or 5 months now, since I guess July. And yeah, they've been working on it, and it has been amazing how much work they've done. And we still have a few cats that need to be fixed and get their shots, and they were supposed to do it this weekend, but I actually didn't get a chance to call the lady. I was busy. I had a bunch of different things I was doing. Anyway, so the reason why I brought all that up is because I have this one cat that I have a girlfriend, and I went and stayed the night at her house that night, and I came home, and I didn't get home till about 10:30, 11 o'clock the next day. Well, we have this one cat that was running around somewhere out there, and I didn't even know. Well, apparently my dad said that she saw her running around there in the yard that night. So what had happened is I looked underneath our wood pile, or our wood rack where we keep our firewood because we burn wood in the winter. I looked underneath there and I was like, hey, her name is Butterball. I was like, hey, Butterball, how you doing? And I looked underneath there and she was laying on the concrete, and she had a fucking coyote trap on her foot. So if you go in my backyard, we have about 3 acres, 2 or 3 acres of land, and it splits off where there's another portion of it that is owned by another neighbor over there. And we have some woods, but it's not like fully wooded. There's like a big field that it splits off into. Anyway, yeah, so apparently my cat got on a coyote trap, and I don't know where the fuck she got it from, because it was the next day and she was already home with it on her foot. So and what was so convenient about that is the Cat Fix community people were coming that very day to fix some cats, or I think they were dropping some off or something like that. They were coming to pick some up. I don't really know what was going to go on that day, but anyway, they came. They saw her. I got the trap. By the way, I got the trap off of her foot, and she had some white stuff on her foot, and I thought it was just like white pussy shit, but it wasn't. It was like, this was in the spring and summertime. It was in the summertime. And it was basically fly larvae, like maggots on her foot. And I used a flea comb and Dawn dish soap and scraped most of them off, pretty much as I possibly could get off of her. But anyway, so what had happened is that coyote trap, I don't know who the fuck set it. I don't know how they set it. And you would think that a coyote trap would be pinned to the ground, so that way whatever they're trying to trap would stay there. Well, nope, this trap was just out there. Somebody set it, and it wasn't pinned to the fucking ground or a tree or anything. So she caught it on her foot. I don't know how long she had it on her foot, but apparently she had it on there for so long that it cut off the circulation where it basically killed her foot. Her foot was basically dead. So the cat fix people took her to the emergency vet, and they said, yeah, it's gonna cost you probably like $2,900 for us to do the operation right here and now. I was like, holy shit, I just got this job. I don't have that kind of money. I can't afford that kind of shit. So this cat fix lady, her name is Judy. She is an amazing person. She is so awesome. She helped me out so much with this. She's like, we have two options. We can amputate the foot or we can put her down. And I go, well, I can tell you right now, putting her down is not a fucking option. Because the only thing wrong with her is her foot. There's no reason for an animal like that to lose their life over a mistake that happened. That's not even their fucking fault. So I was like, all right, that's not happening. We're not putting her down. And then Judy was like, all right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take her back to my own personal vet, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna sedate her, make sure that she ain't in no more pain, and we're gonna keep her overnight, and we're gonna see what her foot's gonna be like in the morning. So what had happened is we let her sleep overnight. The next morning, they said that her foot is still cold to the touch. It's basically dead. We need to do an operation on her, and it needs to be done relatively soon, because if we don't, the infection that's in her foot can spread up to her leg and get to her organs, and next thing you know, we have no choice but to put her down because we can't cure infections in her organs. Or I mean, if they could, it would be really, really, really expensive, way beyond anything that I can afford. So they go ahead and estimate how much it's going to cost to do it. They said, all right, it's going to cost us about $1,170 to have this operation done. I was like, damn, I still don't have that much money. I just started working. Well, Judy, the cat fix lady, said, all right, well, this is what I'm going to do. I'll help you out since you've been so good to me. And since, so basically, what they do is they do it. They fix the cats on a donation-based income, so they like have people donate to them and stuff like that, and donate cat food and donate money to help them like with this organization to help it be done. So that way, the people that they're fixing the cats for can be done for free. So anyway, but this is a different deal. This is an operation. This isn't like them coming to get her fixed. By the way, Butterball, the one that had the foot issue, she had already been fixed. She was one of the very first cats that they actually took and fixed. So she had already had her shot. She had already been fixed. But what had happened is the lady, I don't mean to keep dragging these stories out like this. I could just get to the point right here and there, and I'm trying my best to explain these stories in a way where it's entertaining for y'all, because I know this is kind of fucking boring to listen to. So my bad for that. But I'm going to get back to it. So basically, they did the operation. The cat lady said, you know what? I'm going to put it on my credit card. You can make me payments every single week. You say you get paid every single week. It don't have to be very much payments. You could pay me $200 every week. At some point, it'll get paid off. And that's basically what I did, is I paid her $200 every single week. Sometimes it was more, but mostly it was $200 all the way up until the $1,170 was completely paid off. And that was a few months ago when I finally got it paid off. So I have been getting some full paychecks without having to take a lot of money out of it. Other than like the expenses with my truck and different things like that I explained. So yeah, like I've been working a lot. I've been getting a lot of good stuff done. I had some tragedies happen with one of my cats. So she lost her leg. I paid it off, and she's walking around in the house, hopping along. She's a little hopper dopper. She's really good though. She went through the operation very well, and she's basically back to normal except for not having a leg. And they took it all the way up till to the joint of the leg. They took her entire leg off simply because the infection was so bad that they didn't want to like cut a portion of her leg off just for the infection, a part of the infection to still be in there, and then it's going to spread up her leg even faster and even worse than before, and then she's gonna die. So that's why they had to take her whole leg off in order for her to survive. But hey, she survived and she's living and she hops around on 3 legs and it's great. Well, it's not great that she lost her leg, but it's great that she's alive and she's doing well. Me and my girl, we took a trip to Springfield, Missouri. We went with her and her family and they paid for the motels that we stayed in, which probably wasn't cheap. And the motel was pretty awesome. They had a hot tub and they had a pool, and the pool went like underneath the building and you could go outside and swim, and you could swim back underneath the building and get back inside. It was pretty cool. And they had a workout room in there and all kinds of cool shit. And then they had a breakfast lounge in there, and the staff from the hotel would make breakfast for everybody, and they would set it out on this big table, and you can like get different things, bacon and sausage and eggs, and they had a waffle making machine. You could make your own waffles, and it was pretty fucking cool there at that hotel. But the whole point of us going there was so we can go do a trip. We went to a museum, and we went to some other places that we were supposed to go, but we didn't. Well, we were supposed to go to this place with her family, but her family ended up cutting her out and went with themselves, and I don't know why they did that. I guess I don't know if it was an issue of me going there with them, because I'm not necessarily part of the family. I'm just there as a like a third wheel kind of thing. But yeah, so yeah, it was pretty cool. And after that, I ended up having to go to work. I think I had to go into orientation for my job like on the 27th of July or something like that. And we went right after my birthday or something. But yeah, it was cool. So now what I'm working on now is, since I got all this, my truck and all that stuff, and I still got to put my front bumper on my truck, and I still got to get the alignment done, which is $100. But basically what I'm doing now inside this place here is I want to build a shower, and I want to put a toilet and a sink in here. And I did some looking around, and I called a plumber that my cousin recommended me, and he came out and he looked at my stuff and he was like, yeah, I can do it for you, but it's going to cost you like $2,000. And I was like, that's a little steep for me, considering that this property itself isn't really even ours. It's my sister's property, and we're paying her rent. Obviously, she don't give a damn that we're making improvements to the place, because when we very first moved in here, this place inside here was like full of trash. There was an old-time 70s like spring bed in here that was trash, and there was a big ass hole in the floor over there that I had to cap. I had to put a new floor in. And there was no walls in here, there was no insulation inside here, and there was a lot of different things that needed to be done in order to get this place actually livable. But now I'm working on a luxury thing. I want to put a shower and a bathroom up here, because I don't have a bathroom and I don't have a shower or a kitchen sink in there. And at one point in time, there was a kitchen sink in here, because the thing that I took out of here, like the cabinets and the kitchen sink area, I ripped all that shit out, because I want to put all brand new in here. So yeah. And then I put a front door on the garage, and then build steps all the way down so we can get in and out of this place through a front door instead, because the only way you could get up here is through a hatch on the floor that leads down to the bottom part of the base of the garage. So yeah, there was also a window on that side of this place, which helps out. A much better way to put a door in here. I could just start with the edge of the fucking window, went up. Anyway, I don't know why I'm talking about that. It's got nothing to do with what's going on. But hey, this is the Force Element podcast. This is what happens. We're going to get off on different things and talk about different things. So, all right, so that's one of my goals, is to put a bathroom up here, because I don't have a bathroom up here, and it's winter time, and I don't want to have to go down and keep taking a shower down there. And I want to be self-sufficient up here. The only thing I'm not gonna have is a laundry room, a washer and dryer, because my electrical box isn't really set up for that shit. My electrical box for this garage is set up in a way where it only can use so much power for certain things. And a washer and dryer is just way too much damn power. Plus, we already have a washer and dryer down there in the main. It'll be all good. I can do my laundry down there. No big deal. So I'm trying to think about some other stuff that had happened with me. I know this podcast isn't going to be as long as my other ones because I'm going to try to make them like short and simple. And so, yeah. I'm trying to think of some other stuff. Oh, yeah. So my Coleman mini bike, I went and bought a new engine for it. And it was a 301cc engine, 8 horsepower. And I had some struggles trying to mount that damn thing on there. And actually, I had some struggles starting it. So my original intention was take this engine and just plop it into the engine compartment where my Coleman mini bike is, or where the engine is, and hook the chain up and be good to go. Well, the engine I bought is a lot more bigger and I had to do some modifications. I don't have like a blowtorch. I don't really have a welder or anything like that, so I can't really cut into the frame. Plus, I didn't really want to cut into the frame of my Coleman anyway, because I don't want to weaken the structure. You know what I'm saying? I want to keep it all one tacked fucking thing. So what I had to do is I had to fucking take the gas tank off. I had to take the fucking big ass muffler thing that was on the side. And then I had to do a little bit of modifications to the carburetor and the box filter. But once I did all those modifications, once I got all that stuff on there, the engine finally was able to get in there, and I was able to actually properly mount it. And it goes super fast. It goes like 45. I could probably get it up to 47 miles an hour if I really wanted to. Maybe 50, but I don't want to push the engine too far and like blow the damn thing up, because I just want to have it be a fun, more powerful, fast bike. And it is more powerful and it is more faster. But now I'm looking for something a little bit more funner, like a go-kart. I've been looking on Facebook Marketplace in my area, and there was a couple of people that were selling some frames of some go-karts that had some sprockets on it that would work. And all I would need to do was go to Harbor Freight and buy a new engine for those. Like I've been buying. Well, this is where I bought my engine at, is a Harbor Freight. And yeah, so if I can get one that has a good distance where I can put a bigger engine in there, I would like to put an even bigger engine than the 301, because they had some bigger engines there that actually take a key to fucking start it. And I'm pretty sure those were like 10 horsepower, and they were like 450 cc or something like that. I don't really know. I have to go back and look at them. They also have some Predator 212s in there, and they had a racing 212 in there. And I was like, man, that actually might be pretty good. And it was a relatively smaller engine, but I figured a smaller engine basically means you're not going to go that fast, but that's not always the case. I don't know. And my girl also bought a new mini bike off of Marketplace, and the engine itself works on it, but I had to do some work on it. I didn't have a chain, and I had already bought like a bunch of new chains that I could use for my mini bike, because my chain was fucking old, and it was like 2 years old, and I wanted to put a new chain on it. Plus it broke, and I had to buy some new parts to get the chain working again. So yeah, got a new engine on the Coleman. I want to do a lot more videos, because you guys don't even know about any of this shit. I originally intentioned to fucking make a video of me taking the engine out, putting the new one in, but this was my very first rodeo of like doing an engine swap on these type of bikes, and I didn't really know. Like, I kind of know what the hell I'm doing, but I didn't really know exactly what was going on. So I kind of wanted to just take it slow and like make sure that I was doing everything proper, because I'm spending a lot of money on these fucking engines and I don't want to fuck them up. They do have a return policy for them, but I don't want to return it. I want to use it. You know what I'm saying? But I had an issue getting it started. For some reason, like what I wanted to do was take some parts off of it and actually mount it before I actually started the engine, just to ensure that this engine is going to work and it's going to be mounted in there and it's going to work properly. So I had already started taking stuff off of it and putting new stuff on it. And I think that kind of, I wouldn't say that fucked the engine up, but it definitely made it to where it wouldn't start right away. I was pulling on it and pulling on it and pulling on it and pulling on it, and I couldn't get this motherfucker started. So I was like, all right, I'll take the whole engine apart, or not the whole engine, but I'll take all the stuff off of it, take it off of the Coleman mini bike, put all the stuff back on it that was originally on it, apart from the gas tank, of course, because the gas tank is just one line running from the carburetor to the gas, and that's it. And it's just mounted to the frame of the engine. So I put all the stuff back on it. By the way, somehow I ended up breaking the fucking the lever where you can choke it and not choke it, turn the choke on and off. Like the little thing that it was set on, like broke off of the engine. I don't know how that happened and why it happened, but I thought I was running the engine on full choke, but apparently I wasn't running on full choke. But with these new engines, what you got to do is you have a break-in period, so you have to run it for about 10-15 minutes with oil in it. Then after about 10-15 minutes, you have to dump the oil out, and you'll see itty bitty little hunks of metal in there. That's just basically all the parts, brand new parts inside that engine, flaking off all of its small little tiny pieces of impurity metal, whatever that's in there. You know what I'm saying? There shouldn't be any impurity metals in that motherfucker, but there is, and you have to get it out. It's just little pieces and parts off of the brand new parts that are inside it. Anyway, so what I did is I did that a bunch of times. I bought like a whole gallon of fucking oil, and then I ran it for like 30 minutes while it was, and then after I had ran it initially the very first time for 10-15 minutes, after it was warm, I hurried up and put all the stuff back on it and mounted it on the bike, so that way it was still warm while I could just pull it and get it started while it's on the bike. So finally I was able to do that, and I was actually able to ride it, and I was surprised at how fast and how awesome that engine is. But there was a little clanking noise inside it. It was every time I'd rev it up and it'd be at a decent rev, there'd be some shit inside there going I don't know what the fuck it is, but over time it stopped, and it only does it a tiny little bit. So I don't know if that's just part of the break-in period of the engine, or because I thought the engine itself was like on its way out already when it was brand new, because that's what it sounded like. But I guess it's working good, and I don't know if worst case comes to it, because I already threw the receipt away and I already did like some modifications to the engine, so they probably wouldn't even accept it if I had to take it back. But it works, and that's the bottom line. That's all that really matters to me. As long as the engine works and it lasts more than a year, I'll be happy. But yeah, so that's one of the things that I've been doing over the past couple of months. I was working on that. And I'm trying to think of some other things that I've been doing. I haven't been skateboarding a lot simply because I got to spend 10 hours at my job. You know, I work from 4 o'clock in the afternoon till 2 a.m. in the morning. And usually when I get home, I cook something to eat and I watch a little YouTube, or I watch my shows or whatever, you know. I don't really always just go to bed as soon as I get home, as much as I should. But I love this job. I get paid a lot of money. It's not a lot of money, but it's enough to get bills paid and get stuff done. And save. I can save too, which is the most important thing, because our government is shut down, and it's been the longest damn shutdown of our government forever. And nobody got their damn food stamps. Yeah. Anyway, guys, I think that's pretty much going to be it. I don't really know what else to talk about. I pretty much talked about everything that's been going on in my life. I probably left a few different details out, but I can't sit here all day and chat with y'all. I gotta edit this podcast and get it uploaded to the channel. I got a bunch of different things I want to do today. I got friends I want to go see. And I'll probably have to go over to my uncle's house later on. My mom came into town last weekend and we went over to my uncle's house, and he's got this badass fucking car that he's been working on. And then he wants to like teach me how to play guitar, which I'm all for it. I would love to learn how to play guitar a little bit more better. I don't even know how to play it. Just to get a little plankety plank going on around the campfire or something. Anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and go. I appreciate each and every one of you guys for tuning in. I'm going to do my best to upload more different videos to YouTube. I'm going to do different stuff here and there, whatever, as long as I have the time. But I appreciate you tuning in. I appreciate you stopping by.